Sir, how do you see the war in Ukraine right now? How would you assess what's going on there? There are a lot of stories that this war could be avoided if the West, and especially the United States, which is the leader of the free world, could warn Putin before the war that there is a red line over there and he cannot step on it, and Putin could be convinced that he will not attack Ukraine due to the problems he actually made to the whole world, not only to this part of the world.
I think there was a period of time after the fall of the Soviet Union, and symbolically we have just witnessed the passing of
Yes.
Gorbachev, for example.
Did you know Gorbachev?
No, I did not, but I served in the Soviet Union twice, just to make a digression.
Yes.
I served there twice, once in the late 1970s and again in the 1990s. The first time I was actually expelled. I was expelled from the Soviet Union. I was working, and it was nothing I did. Of course, everyone says that, but I was working in Ukraine at the time, but it was Soviet.
As an American diplomat.
As an American
But
diplomat.
in the Soviet Ukraine.
Soviet Ukraine. And it was following the Russian invasion of Afghanistan. And we took very many measures reciprocally back and forth, boycotting the Olympics, not selling certain technology, things of this nature. And far down on the list was the mutual expulsion of diplomats.
Yes.
And I was on that list because I was in Ukraine working there, and so I was tossed out. But you know, it's very interesting because during Gorbachev, you mentioned Gorbachev, during Gorbachev, Perestroika, Glasnost,
Yes.
I actually returned to the Soviet Union. It was kind of an experiment by the US government. This person was thrown out. Can we return him to the Soviet Union for work there? And they did. And I was accepted, and there were no problems during that time. But your question is about
Yes.
Ukraine and the war
Yes.
in Ukraine, I think.
And if the war could be really avoided by the early intervention of Washington towards Moscow.
I started saying that, you know, after the fall of the Soviet Union, there was a period where we were trying to enmesh the Soviet Union into, and Russia, once the Soviet Union had fallen, into a network of cooperation. A network of cooperation together with the West. I don't think anyone was daydreaming that Russia would become part of NATO or Russia would join the European Union. Nothing like that. But at least have a cooperative relationship so that there would not be the mutual hostility. And this led us into a period where, for example, when things happened, we had a rosy picture of Putin when he first came in 2000, for example. We had a rosy picture of Medvedev when he succeeded Putin for a period of time.
Yes.
And, you know, it was a little bit too rosy. At the same time, we were receiving warnings from Romania
Yes.
and from other countries that, you know, things may not be as nice as you think. And you were right. Because then I think the problem became that we did not react, in my opinion, and I'm saying this today because I am a common citizen, I'm no longer a representative of the US government. We did not react strongly enough, for example, on the situation with Georgia. When there was the...
In 2008.
2008, when there was the invasion of Georgia, we did not react strongly enough, in my opinion, to that. In fact, less than 1 year, we were having meetings in the State Department and the Oval Office to have a reset with Russia, less than 1 year after the invasion of Georgia. Then came, of course, the situation with Syria, then came Crimea. Our reactions to these things were not as strong as they should have been. So when you ask, could there have been a warning? Could there have been a warning to Putin? Possibly there could have been, but on the other hand, our reactions were not so strong towards Russia in its activities. And because of that, I believe the Russians, it was part of their miscalculation. Putin perhaps made three major miscalculations on Ukraine. Number one, He overestimated the capabilities of his own military forces. He underestimated the resistance of the Russian people and the Russian government. And I think he did not expect the West to be so united and to adopt such effective sanctions.